afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Birmingham Wildlife Conservation Park for the latest in our Wednesday Facebook Live videos. And continuing our alphabety theme from last week, we are on B, and obviously B stands for Binturong. So yes, feel free to send in any questions you might have about our Binturong, or Binturong in general. I'll do my best to answer them for you. We'll just chat about these guys for about 10 or 15 minutes or so. Hi Kate, Happy New Year, hope you're okay. So, yes, we are in with our pair of Binturong at the moment. We've got Thor down here just stuffing his face at the moment, and then Bibsy is up in a nest box there, as you can just about see there, having a bit of a munch up in the nest box there. We will go and see her in a minute, but we'll stick with Thor for now. So, Binturong are a species in the civet family. So civets are quite closely related to cats. I believe in earlier kind of taxonomical systems, civets were actually placed in the cat family, but they are their own separate family now, and they are in the carnivora order, so they are classed as carnivores. Although, as you can see, the majority of their diet is actually fruit and veg based. They are quite friendly, Kate, these two. Thor and Bibsy are both quite friendly Binturong. The male we used to have here, Sunti, wasn't quite so friendly, so I think it just depends on the individuals. But these guys are both fairly friendly. So yeah, so like I was saying, these guys are in the carnivore order, and as I put in the post yesterday, they are one of only two carnivores with a prehensile tail, so they can grip on to branches and things with that long thick tail that you can see there, that Thor is modelling very nicely. And they use that because they are mostly found climbing up in the trees and things like that of Southeast Asia. So they're found throughout Southeast Asia, from kind of India and China all the way down through into some of the Philippine islands and Indonesian islands and things like that as well. So they do have quite a big range in the wild. They do have quite a big range. The coats are quite the hair on a Binturong it's quite soft, to be honest. It does look rougher than it actually is. They've got quite long. It's not quite coarse fur, but it's not as rough as it does look. It almost looks bristly, especially with Thor's colouring, where he's got the grey on the end of the hairs. But no, it's not actually. It's not actually very rough. I think Bibsy's coming to say hello. Yeah, madam. I think Bibsy wants this food bowl. She's had all the good stuff out of the other one. No, it is not a bear nor a cat, Matt. But bear cat is a colloquial name for these guys because they do look a bit like something in the middle of the two. So if Binturong's a bit too awkward to remember, just say bear cat. People will know what you mean. You're going to come down, Bibsy? Hey, you going to come and say hello? So yeah, Binturong are classed as vulnerable in the wild on the IUCN Red List. They are threatened with deforestation and habitat loss, and they can also be taken as pets in Southeast Asia. They, I believe I read last night, they're actually a delicacy in one of the countries over there. They are threatened by a number of things out in the wild. Like I say, they've got quite a large range, but throughout that range, they're not particularly numerous. So they're found in a lot of places, but not many not very many of them in those places. Yeah, they do almost look a bit raccoon-like, Kate. There are quite a few, different groups and orders of mammals that do end up having the same kind of morphology, really. So obviously these guys have got it. Red pandas look similar as well. Raccoons, like you say, they're all the same kind of body shape. Hi Sue, hi Lorraine, hope you're okay. So Michael, in the wild, the main diet of a binturong is it is mainly fruits and things like that. Figs especially are a favourite of binturong, and we do offer figs here along with other fruits and veg and things like that. They do eat a little bit of meat. They will eat small mammals, birds, and reptiles and things like that. Eggs as well. But as you can see, they're not really built to be a predatory species. So really, that's kind of opportunistic. If they have a chance to have a bit of meat, they'll take it. Whether that's scavenging or just happening upon something, they'll have it. But yeah, they're not expert hunters. I can tell you that much. So that little bald spot, it's all it is just where the fur is kind of not split, but it's growing out from that central point, kind of like on your own head. You've got that central point where it will kind of grow from. So that's all that is. Thank you for that, Thor. Whacking me with your tail, very kind. You're gonna come and we're gonna have a swap over. We're gonna have Bibsy now. There we go. Yeah, it's a nice variety in the wild, and we try and give them a nice variety here. As you can see, we've got a range of different fruits. We've got figs and strawberry, orange, and then a range of veg as well. So we've got courgette, Chinese leaf, bit tomato today, along with their pellets, and they do have some egg in there as well today. A couple of other bits and bobs in there too, which I've forgotten what I put in this morning, but there you go. Right, so we've had a swap over, so we've got Bibsy here now, taken over from Thor. Yeah, they are very noisy eaters, so they haven't got very good table manners, bless them, not at all. Do you? Eh? Yeah, so as you say, Kate, Bibsy is actually quite dark in colour. She is pretty much black all over, whereas Thor is that mottled grey, black colour. They're probably just slight genetic differences. There are, because binturong have got such a wide range, in the wild there are actually a number of different subspecies. These guys, we're not 100% sure on the actual subspecies that these guys are, so it might be that, that Thor's got more of one than another compared to Bibsy. So yeah, that's probably all it is with the coloration. You can get quite grey binturong, some that are a bit more brown in colour, and then ones that are pretty much all black. Yeah, sorry George, this is a binturong, or also known as a bear cat. Yeah, in the civet family. Yeah, they do just have kind of similar cat features. Obviously the whiskers, not quite the facial shape, but the eyes are similar, and just the whole kind of, apart from the very long thick tail, the body shape's almost similar as well. So yeah, that's where they get their colloquial name from. So just a bit more about these two. Bibsy is 12 years old now, and she came to us about 5 or 6 years ago from Heidelberg. I believe it was Heidelberg, which is over in Germany. She came to pair up with our old male Sunti, but unfortunately they never managed to hit it, or they never really got on at all. Like I say, Sunti was quite a grumpy binturong. So since he was moved on, he went to Thrigby Hall Wildlife Gardens, which is in Norfolk, where, as far as I know, he's still rocking and rolling. And then we were allocated Thor as part of the breeding programme to come in and pair up with Bibsy. So Thor is 3 years old now. While we're speaking about him, we'll have a look at him. Thor's 3 years old now. He came to us when he was only 9 months old, actually. I think he's 4 now, actually, sorry. Came to us when he was only 9 months old from Fuengirola in Spain. And yeah, after an introduction period, these guys have kind of lived happily alongside each other since. We have seen mating from them on a number of occasions, but so far no luck. They were actually mating earlier this week. Monday morning I came in to see them having a bit of private time. So yeah, fingers crossed. We might get some little ones this year, but we'll wait and see what happens with that. Yeah, Marie, they like I say, they are fairly chilled out animals. These two, they are just very good with us and around us and things like that. They're not too bothered at all. You're going to push that bowl off the box in a minute, girl. There we go. So these guys do actually share the whole enclosure with our pair of Asian short-clawed otters as well. But I think the otters are out and about at the moment. They are outside enjoying the sunshine that we actually have here today. So yeah, it's quite a good question, Kate. I'm trying to research that myself at the moment. I found records of females up to 18 years old giving birth, but I believe they're ones that have actually had litters in the past. Whereas Bibsy, it would be her first litter. She's obviously still coming into season and things like that because we're getting the mating at a fairly regular interval as well. So she is cycling. So there's still something going on there. So yeah, there is actually a workshop for Binturong keepers next week, which I'm attending, and I'm going to try and see what everyone else's thoughts are on that. Because yeah, like I say, she's not the youngest girl anymore, but hopefully she'll still be able to have some little ones. They can live up to about 25 in captivity, so yeah. She's only really not even middle-aged yet, so yeah, plenty of time. And like we say, Thor's a very young lad. Grown up a lot with us, bless him. When he arrived, he was probably about a third the size of Bibsy, and now look at him. Big monster. Oh, brilliant, Nicola. Well, fingers crossed you can get in, and we'll be working with you soon. That'll be lovely. Yeah, it would be lovely if she does. So, yeah, that would be a really big tick for us here. We have enough. It would be nice as well because they get on so well. It would be lovely to actually get something, get the next generation out of these guys too, as opposed to just living together happily. It would be nice to get some little ones. You had enough now, guys. Thor's gone back to bed. I think Bibsy might go and join him. Cannot blame you. Yeah, when she is in season, they both go quite lazy, and they will spend pretty much all day in bed. So yeah, they come out for food, and that's pretty much it at the moment. Don't know if you heard that little blowy noise, that kind of shh noise. There it is again. That's how we kind of know she's in season. They talk to each other using that noise, which they only use when they're getting into kind of the mating time. So yeah, that's always a good sign. If we hear that, we know that they're getting into that time of year. Well, it's about every 3 months they seem to cycle. Good girl. Oh, thank you, Phil. Glad you're enjoying. They can jump, but not very well. They are definitely more climbers. Okay. Yeah, they don't have the best jump in the world. Yeah, much better at climbing, especially with that big prehensile tail, which they use to help them climbing and things like that. No, they should be outside, Phil. Unfortunately, it's still quite chilly for them, so they do prefer to stay indoors, especially, like I say, when they're in this time of year. They just get very lazy, bless them. But yeah, they do have access out. There we go. It's looking lovely out there, but unfortunately, they go back to bed. Bless them. Oh, thank you, Zena. I'm glad you're enjoying. Glad you're enjoying the lives. Like I say, hopefully, have a nice little theme going with the alphabet theme for the first half of this year at least. Be nice to whiz through that. Right then, guys, we will call it a day. We've had about 15 minutes with them, so yeah, they're going to have a snuggle up now. Hey. Bless them. I do love these two. If anyone's got any last minute questions, please feel free to send them in. I'll do my best to answer them. A was our agouti. Azar is agouti. W works for both of their names. So that is on our Facebook page from last week. So if you missed it, feel free to go and tune into that. Yeah, they were a bit more elusive than these two have been. These guys are a bit more showy than the agouti. Bless him. And then, yes, I've got a plan for C. C should be a popular one as well, we hope. So we will see what happens next week. But yeah, we'll advertise it on Tuesday as ever. In the wild, Xena, I think 10 to 15 is fairly average, maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, captivity, they have been known to go up to about 25 years old. I think kind of 15 to 25 is fairly average for captivity, but I think the majority of individuals now do live up to at least about 18. You trying to get comfy, Pibsy? Hey. Yeah, it's very dark, very difficult to film a dark animal in a dark box. There we go. Settling down now. First news. I think that's a good point to leave them be. So yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed seeing our beautiful Binturong. And we'll be back again next week. Cheers guys, see you then.